In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the WANDRD Duo Daypack versus the Peak Design Zip 20 liter Backpack V2. These are very similar bags, so we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each and just kind of go over the differences. We have full reviews over at packhacker.com for both of these bags, which we'll link in the description below, including the best buying options and all that fun stuff. So check out the link below on that one, and let's get into this video and start taking a look. So Peak Design Zip 20 here, WANDRD Duo 20 here. Very similar bags in terms of function and what they're intended to do, but they're actually quite different. So starting off here, we're gonna have the materials listed over on the site, but I'll just talk to how they feel. So they both kind of have this rubbery feel. The WANDRD feels a little bit more like tarpaulin to it, so it feels a little more rubbery. I think this is like triple coated. Both of these do a pretty good job with mud and dirt. Pretty easy to wipe off. There are these lash loops on the outside which you can attach straps to. I think the Peak Design looks a little bit better. It's more low profile. You've got some pretty beefy stuff going on here with the WANDRD. No front pocketing with the Peak Design. However, with WANDRD you have one locking zipper pulling down, and we covered this in the full main video review, but we like this. So locking zipper, you pull this, stays locked when the zipper pull is flat. If this is up, you can pull it and it opens up on its own. And we love that the zipper garage here can accommodate for that locking. Some other bags we've tested will not have this little slit here to allow the zipper pull to go up in. And then, you know, you can't really pull this up and you can't pull it out. So the bag is, you kind of got to like unlock it and pull it. So that's nice here with the WANDRD. We like that. Bottom here, very, very similar positioning for these as well. So this is very close to the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. This was released later than the WANDRD Duo though. So they both, although the Everyday Backpack from Peak Design has been around for years. So, you know, they're definitely getting some inspiration from one another, especially with the zip system, which we'll talk about. So, you know, there's a bit of controversy around that, but we're going to try to remain objective and just look at the features and talk about what we like better. If we go to the side pockets here, there's some pretty good stretch here on the Peak Design. There's also a drain hole at the bottom here if it does get wet. WANDRD, pretty similar, a little bit less stretch, seems a little bit less large. No drain hole because there's mesh all the way going on the bottom here. And there you have that. Peak Design does offer a handle on both sides. Nice, whether that's nice to have is totally up to you. This is just a little key thing. Won't talk too much about that. But on the opposite side, WANDRD has a handle. Very similar handles and materials. I mean, like really spot on. They're pretty much the same. You know, and then you have this bottle tripod pocket over here. So kind of like that WANDRD is keeping it minimal. You know, you just got one bottle pocket on the side, one handle on this side. If you have a tripod in here, you're probably not gonna be able to use the handle much anyways, but the Peak Design offers more versatility in the pocketing here since they are on both sides. So we'll leave that there. Flipping it around to the harness system. Basically, again, like pretty similar. Bags of 20 liters. These are both adequate harness systems. We like them. You know, WANDRD has this big, beefy, dense frame sheet here to accommodate for really thick and pointy camera stuff. Peak Design has similar, but it's just in the middle. There is a luggage pass-through on Peak Design, so that's a nice touch. And then for WANDRD, there is as well. And then WANDRD, you have a hidden pocket in the back here for something like a passport. Peak Design just has this magnet system where you can you know, use it as a pass-through and it easily magnets down if you're not. Love the Peak Design straps here. They rotate around to the front of your body, and that's really nice. You can rotate the WANDRD to the front, but these straps don't move at all. And if you're shooting and speed is something you're going for, definitely nicer with the Peak Design on that front. And then there is an option for a hip belt on both of these, which we appreciate that they include. Although they are bags of 20 liters, we think that at least an option for a hip belt is good, especially if you're carrying heavy camera gear. So Peak Designs is going to anchor right in back here with Velcro. That waist strap is just going to slide right through. And then up here, there's this nylon webbing here at the top. And both these bags are the same price, just to note. So like the Solve, again, it's just more elegant on Peak Design, how you can slide that in there. This is going to use like some clipping system. We don't have the hip belts for either, but this is a better Solve system. One other thing that we were noticing with the WANDRD Duo is that it kind of feels like these straps are kind of pulling out on your chest while you're wearing them. Peak Design's a little more flexible. This, due to its structured shape, kind of feels like it carries more of like a brick on your back. And this, I mean, feels a little different because it's not as stiff on the sides. We've actually been saying this bag can kind of look dehydrated. It's not fully packed. And Peak Design, you know, keeps its shape and definitely looks beautiful no matter what's inside of it. Love the look of the WANDRD 2 and the minimalistic kind of approach they've taken. But when it's not completely filled up, you know, it looks a little dehydrated, which I think is a funny way to describe it. All right, and then yeah, the Hypalon attachment point up here, there's a bit of you know, kind of reinforcement there. This strap at the top for Peak Design, they're using that same one, so you can grab it from the sides, you can grab it at the top, all over the place. WANDRD just went for this kind of seatbelt-like material at the top here that you can grab, which is totally adequate. Although this is anchored a little bit more towards the top. I think I'd prefer this. On the top handles, I'd prefer Peak Design again, and it's a little bit lower profile. Your mileage may vary. Sternum Strap, I mean, we have so much trouble with quality and consistency with the Peak Design Sternum Strap. Even though there are arrows on here, you know, it's quite hard to get off. I mean, you can just see that arrow, it's telling me to push it that way. We found a lot of inconsistencies. Some seem to go on more than others do not. Because we have pretty much all the Peak Design bags we've been using and comparing. Our whole team has been using each of these bags for at least 2 weeks for the full test. WANDRD just, you know, they kept it simple here. And we like that it's like more of a minimal strap for this. We think that's a nice touch on a bag of this size. You know, they're just using, you know, just NIFCO hardware here. So very, very easy to understand Sternum Strap. Peak Design Sternum Strap looks beautiful. Don't think it's quite as functional. And the quality kind of consistency on them is spotty. We've heard a couple reports of people, you know, coming off too easily or having them, in our case, for this bag, hard to get off altogether. 2 little loops here that pretty much, you know, they give you some extra functionality here if you want to like hang some carabiner clips of items. WANDRD doesn't have any of that, although you could use these little kind of PALS webbing areas too. So maybe you want to put like a lens blower, a Geodos rocket on the front or something like that as you're shooting. You know, that can definitely help. We get to the bottom here. Love the way the Peak Design adjusters glide. I mean, that's just really nice. You just kind of grab this tab, it pulls right up. WANDRD Duo, you know, again, standard hardware, nothing wrong with it. And they give you a strap keeper, which is nice. But there's nothing special feeling about it. It's just pretty standard. And then Peak Design sort of adds this additional fabric here to kind of cover it up a little bit. So love that Peak Design thinks through all those details. Sometimes like here it works really well. The Sternum Strap, it doesn't seem to work as well in terms of like taking aesthetic first. All right, quick breather, and let's do the laptop compartment here. So, we'll do the top drop pocket on the WANDRD. Love the top drop pocket here. I think this is really nice actually. So there's ample space in here. You want to put in your keys, your wallet, your phone, sunglasses. There's a key ring as well. Rotates 360. Always appreciate that. That's a nice feature and a nice touch. Soft fabric on the inside here too. We have that same zipper that we see top. And for Peak Design, it just zips. So, you know, there's no really external access besides the side pockets on the Peak Design Everyday Zip. Okay, let's open up the main compartment. And this is really where we have qualms with the WANDRD Duo, is you have these pockets on the sides and oftentimes they get stuck. So they're going pretty smooth here, but you have this really sharp corner. When we had it filled up during our testing, kind of hard to get around that sharp corner, especially with these AquaGuard YKK zippers, which are high quality zippers, but like the patterning on here is tough because it's so square. Whereas the Peak Design, the way it's designed, it just nicely swoops around. so you can kind of see that nicely swoops around. This is Peak Design's Ultra Zip with Zoom zippers. Haven't had a problem yet, but typically we trust YKK a little bit more, which is what the WANDRD is using. But so far so good on these, and you can pull them. There's also the ability to lock these zippers, so if you want to see how that works, check out our full review. WANDRD does not offer any of that. So if you have expensive camera gear and you at least want to keep things more secure, you know, if somebody has a knife or something, they're going to get into it. It's more of a deterrent. But Peak Design doesn't offer any of that. And then, yeah, so this, I believe, is called the Infinite Zip from WANDRD. And then Peak Design, I'm not sure if they really named it. But this is the main qualm when people are like, oh, this company ripped off that company, this company ripped off that company. That's what they're talking about, is like the layout and the design of this bag. So let's just pull them open, and there's some pronounced differences on the interior. Get this WANDRD one open. And again, if you want to see how this works, zipper pull at the bottom here so you can access and flip up the bag from the bottom too to get access inside. WANDRD offers the same, except again, around those corners can get a little sticky. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, that can flip around and open right up. Not noticing it as much now when the bag isn't full. Let's open this up. I will just say too, we just generally, the Peak Design just feels more high quality. There are elements of the Duo that feel high quality, but there are also elements of the Duo that feel a little bit cheap. And I don't think the execution is sometimes not matching the vision on this, where I think the Peak Design is executed really nicely. So just a note on that. I mean, still both solid bags, but this is a comparison. So let's put it up in baby changing diaper mode. I feel like you could just like put a baby on here and change them. Looks like a changing table, which is funny. I'm just gonna unvelcro these. I don't know when you'd want to fully open either of the bags like this, but I'll just do it now so we can get a nice look at everything inside. If we look at the Peak Design and how this lays out versus the WANDRD, pretty similar here. So we have this stretchy mesh pocket at the top, two zippered pockets at the bottom, some dividers on the insides. Similar here. Peak Design does this cute thing where they do black on one side, gray on another to indicate dead batteries, full charge batteries. If you like that, cool. If not, that's totally fine too. And yeah, so pretty much, you know, love the zippers on here. WANDRD offers one zipper pocket on the back here. But I mean, even if you just look, there's a lot of crinkle going on the WANDRD. This is a little smoother and softer with that mesh. The main way to organize your camera gear and your lenses in here, the Peak Design offers a little more versatility with their origami dividers, so you can get things in with your kit perfectly as you normally would with other camera bags. So we like that. The WANDRD worked pretty well in our instance. We have two mirrorless cameras, two lenses. So the lenses fit in these pockets here, which are nicely padded and nicely protected. But when we have everything loaded up in here, we didn't find ourselves using this space inside of the bag. And then you have the space for your camera cube at the bottom, so this cannot move. Whereas Peak Design, you know, you can get those shelves wherever you'd like to really customize to your camera kit. And we like that on Peak Design. Here too, you know, you put your expensive DSLR down there. There's not a ton of padding on the bottom. And if you slam the bag into the ground, I mean, there's a decent amount of padding, but it's not suspended is what I'm saying. So if this gets dropped a little bit harder than normal, you know, easier on Peak Design if you just suspend these origami dividers a little bit, keep your camera off the ground. But do like how this works with WANDRD. This is this little pop camera cube. You can unvelcro this, pull that out. There we go. You know, we got some nice little divider here. So that does offer some nice customizability, and generally just like, this camera cube is like a little kludgy to get used to, but once you do, it's nice because you can just pop it down, and there you go. You're in everyday carry mode, and you got a lot of space in there. Peak Design doesn't mess around with that. They just have the origami dividers, which sometimes, you know, they're different solutions. So your mileage may vary there. Which one do you prefer? The mesh pockets on the WANDRD are a little bit saggy on the WANDRD Duo. one zipper pocket, which I dig that, so you keep everything nice and locked in. And on both of these bags, these two mesh areas are pretty open. Peak Design does magnet shut, but you know, as you're flipping this bag around in the field, flipping everything around, there are chances that things could fall out of the bag. Whereas WANDRD, you know, very, very loose here, and no way to close that. So didn't love the way that feels, and didn't like the way that functioned. Especially if you're flipping the bag around, you get stuff in this pocket that goes out in the main compartment of the bag. And here's something that WANDRD is doing that I find really interesting and really kind of innovative. I like that they're doing this. There are two areas here to put cords. So if you have a wrapped up cord, you just stick it in there, and then that stretchy paracord-like material stretches right onto it, and then you just pull this out and pull the cord out when you're ready to grab it. Love that innovative thinking that they're doing there, and love that they're kind of pushing the envelope of things. The front pocket here, there is a big mesh divider pocket. This has been great to kind of stick our laptop chargers into. This tech pocket is where we've been sticking our laptop chargers into on the Peak Design, which I'll get into in a second. But that's really nice. Then we have the top drop pocket near the top, or you can put a jacket in there or something. Like that's there. The zip pocket here at the top, if you want to put in any additional cords, any tech gear, any SD cards, that can go up there as well. Let's talk about how the laptops, let me grab the Peak Design real quick. Peak Design towards the top here just has this little mesh pocket as well. I'm not super hot on this mesh pocket. I guess it's pretty secure, and you could stick your passport in there. You know, but we talk more about it in the review, so go check it out. If you want any details on like how this origami system works, I know it's a bit confusing, but we'll talk about it all in the full review, and it's very customizable. Yeah, and I think the next thing to talk about is how the laptop is stored in here. So Peak Design has this stored on the back. Nathan actually had this as his only one bag. We went out to Portland for a couple days. He had everything fully packed in here, his clothes, his camera, his laptop, all that jazz. So there's some nice, that stretchy mesh here, which is good. That's where we've been sticking our laptop chargers. Definitely stretchy and nice. However, you know, if you do have the bag fully loaded, it can be hard to access this mesh pocket, these dividers, the tablet sleeve, which is here, and the laptop sleeve, which we like. It's suspended and it's adjustable, so we like that. It protects from unexpected drops. And the WANDRD here, let me just try to show you that. That opens right up here at the top as well. And then we have in the front pocket here, it kind of uses that soft felt-like material that we see in the quick grab pocket above. Tablet goes down to about here on the bag, so that's nice and suspended. And when we go to the laptop, which is behind that divider, that pretty much goes all the way to the bottom of the bag, so you can see where it cuts off here. And although there is a little padding, we wish that there was some suspension like we see in the Peak Design. So similar to your camera, you know, you got the edge of your laptop and your camera at the very bottom of this bag. You better make sure that you're setting it down gingerly and being careful with it. We like those little things that are built into the Peak Design for some added security, especially since both of these bags, or not security, but rather, you know, just mitigating potential damage, because both of these bags are meant to carry, you know, a bunch of expensive camera gear. So there you have it. That was our comparison of the WANDRD Duo Daypack versus the Peak Design Everyday Zip 20 liter, both 20 liter bags. We reviewed both of these, so make sure to go check those out, and would love to hear what you think of each of these bags in the comments below. For more information on the best buying options, head over to packhacker.com. If you'd like to see more in-depth video reviews and broader Pack Hacker content, then make sure to subscribe to our main channel too. We'll see you in the next video.